again, or hello, or my phone is tipping. I hope everyone is doing well today. Hello. And I hope that spring has sprung where you are. If you are still getting snow, you have my sympathies. That is difficult. Yeah, we are working on her joining me right now. Is she here? Gia, are you on your phone?
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yay!
I like kept refreshing and it wasn't showing me the like Alyson is live
Yeah,
thing. And I was like, no. And then I checked right when you said it. And then I was like, oh no, she's been ripping probably
I've
15 minutes
been
now.
I've
So
been
I'm so sorry.
vamping. I was like, we're just gonna start over. I was
I'm
talking
so
about how
sorry.
no problems. You are a multi-hyphenate. You have so many hyphens. You are a librarian, a
Hmm.
street artist, a
Hmm.
book club maven, a crochet artist. Crochet artist because you make dolls, but you're also expanding. So you're
Yeah, a
not
little.
just a doll maker, you're so much more.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying,
You
sort of.
are.
Yeah.
I loved your piece yesterday. I think it
Oh,
was
thank you.
yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's in
Yeah.
my story for anyone who's curious. So I was talking about all the things you do and how fun it is to have somebody who I see on a regular basis join me. Because mostly I have social media people join me, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to see you later today. So,
Yes. No, yeah, like in an hour and a half, I'm gonna book club your kid.
yep, that's right. Highly recommend Social
Yes.
Justice Book Club.
Thanks
Um,
for having me and
yeah,
asking
I'm
me to do it.
thrilled.
Yeah.
I have reached out to people I know, and many of them are camera shy. They don't
Mm,
feel comfortable with this, which I
yeah.
get.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I could do that. Yeah.
I've
I'm
just
here. I
decided
don't
to throw care to the wind. Um, it just
Yeah.
is what it is. And I enjoy this personally. For me, I enjoy talking to people and hearing their stories. So I just sort of ignore that other people might watch it someday. Um,
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say before you read your poem?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, please go ahead.
Okay. My Where I'm From poem. I am from layaways, from generic cola and heartburn causing picante chips. I am from 9 homes in 17 years, on military bases in the middle of pineapple fields next to undetonated bombs. I am from plantains, brown and bruised, then fried and smashed at just the right time. I am from my mom's lived ghost stories and curly hair and loudest laugh and elaborate homemade Halloween costumes. From Juan and Linda and Javier, I am from holding it in until you explode and cross country road trips reading books in the car. I am from hoping there would be donuts after Mass. I am from Panama and the Aztecs and the ancient Puebloans and the white men who liked brown women. I am from fork pressed empanadas guided by my abuela's hand and my mama's arroz con pollo with the orange box Goya seasoning. From the desert where my dad did the odd jobs, the shoes shining outside a bar, the catching desert tortoises and bopping them on the head, the hundreds of pounds of picked cotton. From the tias who had the powers of brujas, always sensing when something was wrong from miles away. Being the family archivist, I have the papers and the photos, the stories and the secrets, the family's human confessional, given to me by everyone for safekeeping, packed in old Samsonite suitcases for their next journey. Thank you.
Yay!
I did
You did
it.
it! It's so fun to hear a person's poem or it's a change to hear a person's poem where I learned some things, but not the entire thing.
Yes,
Um,
you did know some of those stories already, right? You've
yeah,
heard them before. Yeah.
yeah. So it was like, oh, and it was interesting to see what you chose to tell. I think that's interesting, even when I don't know people's background. What did you have like a guiding principle of who you were, like what age you were when your point of
I
view?
mean, yeah, I mean, that's really interesting because when my son did this in class, like I think at
Hmm.
his was so light. His was so full of like, I mean, I was so happy to read it because it was like such a happy childhood. I was like, look at this guy. Like he's just like, I'm from kindness and love. And it was amazing to read his perspective. And then I sat down with the same prompt that he got, and I was like, I'm from darkness. And, and I think the first iteration I did was way darker. And I kind of tried to take something from my son and try to find the balance, right? Like, because it's so easy to dwell on the bad things of when you were a kid and growing up. And I tried to go from basically my time at home with my parents, you know, and I stop at 17 because that's when I move out. But like, I had to force myself to go back and put in the things that were special, you know, and take out some of the darker things, because I am from both things, you know, so.
For sure. I think most of us are from both things. And
absolutely.
Yeah, it was funny because when you first sent me, I hadn't actually read your rewrite. I just heard it for the first time here. You were like, is this sort of maudlin? And I was like, nah, whatever. Like, I'm here for maudlin. I got no judgments. So, but this does definitely walk the line more of the light and the you know, shadow. It's interesting because reading those same poems from these children or these teenagers, I totally cried as I do when confronted with hope and joy. That's what makes me cry, not like the constant terror there is in the world, but just the hope and the face of that is always the thing that like gets me in the gut. So
I think I would be curious to like, when they're 40, would they write the same poem about their childhood?
Absolutely not. I think there will be some mention of COVID or some mention of all of this at the very least.
Not the least of like whatever else is going on in their lives right now. Which I think you know, working at a school now, I had no idea, like having that interior view into like what the kids are actually going through, and like hearing from their teachers who often know what's going on at home. It is like been very illuminating in terms of like what these kids are going through and what their parents are putting them through. You know, and it is
for sure
makes you
yes
sad.
I don't work at school, but I volunteer a lot, and
well, you're very privy.
I feel oftentimes when people judge children or teenagers, like they're really working hard. They got a lot to deal with, and it's easy for us to think, oh well, it's
like, why
not
can't they
like
just be better? Why can't they just behave or whatever? And
they're just like, oh, speaking of things that make me cry, I mean, so really all of them that I know are trying so hard to be good people. And they're endeavoring every day. And a lot of them have no help. And that's hard to watch. I
realize how much of it is like the teacher aspect is like therapy. Like you are this like social worker and you are this therapist because you are probably maybe sometimes the only nice person that a kid is going to see that day. So I like, that's definitely like as someone who like is a children's librarian but doesn't really like kids that much, like
well, I didn't know if you'd share that publicly, so
I think it's well known. I don't like default to like thinking kids are awesome. Like, I really like dig deep.
I do.
Yeah, I know you love kids. You're always so, and I'm always like, oh, could you stop? No, why can't you act like a 40-year-old? No, but yeah, that's sort of like forced me to be like more sympathetic, like dig for that empathy.
I think not everyone has the time or the access to be in a classroom, or be in a school, but I do think that everyone, whether they have the experience or not, could dig a little deeper and have more gratitude and compassion for children and teachers. Especially right now. Teachers are working really hard and they never get paid enough. Ever. So I think also I have compassion because I considered becoming a teacher, and I went into classrooms in college and did like the student teaching experience with my friend Jillian, who is a teacher, and she was so good at it. Like,
Yeah.
she's so gifted at it. And I looked at her and was like, oh, I'm not her. I
No.
love kids, but like, I don't have that thing. And when you
Yeah.
come across a teacher like that, hold on to them and give
Yeah.
them all the support that you can, because they're a gift to every child they interact with. They're a
Well,
gift.
even our sons, I was like, I'll be like, oh, this kid. And she's like, well, I actually really like him. And I was like, oh, man. I'm like, you're a saint. You are a saint. You are, and she is. And she is a good one. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's interesting that that's like all kind of like what came up when I was like writing this, because I was trying to, I was like, what would I have said at the time? What would I have said were the defining things at the time when I was a kid, like where I was from? Like, I wouldn't have hearkened on all the stuff that I found out since then, right? Those didn't form me. I didn't know those things until I was an adult. So I tried to think more of the things I would have said, the things that really did shape me, not the things that like haunt me, which are different, right?
They are different. I tried to write that too. I think that's why I leaned so hard on the water and the ocean, and because that was the thing that was always there.
Yeah.
That was my constant companion, my reliable companion.
Yeah.
And I was proud, like I was from the beach, you know.
Well, there's like a beauty,
girl.
like you got to grow up in one of the most beautiful places in the world. And so even if everything inside was ugly, there was always this like constant beauty outside, right? Like,
yes, truly.
Yeah.
And it's interesting talking about what you were just saying about not what haunts you, but what did you say?
What
You
shapes
remember?
you?
What shapes you? Yeah.
Shapes you.
Yeah. And how that's different from what haunts you. That's so well put.
Yeah. Oh,
Check. And because someone messaged me last night who I talk with, and she's like, oh, so I've thought about this a lot, this prompt, and I have like two versions. You know, the version I feel like I should read and the version that I want to write. And I think that's sort of the same thing.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people sort of struggle with this, like, it's a little bit of tug of war.
It is. It's I don't know. And you want to put the things that are unique about your childhood too. You're trying to like dig for the things that might be interesting to someone else, So you're also still performing a little bit. It's not entirely
for sure.
I don't know if anybody wants the thing that's like actually in there.
Me.
You always, you'll go dark. I get it. I know. You're gonna do it.
Well, that's why I thought it was funny when you said, is this too maudlin? I'm like, are you asking me? That seems like the wrong person to ask.
Like, there's no way she's gonna say this is too maudlin. There's no way.
Ask someone else.
Yeah. Finnegan would have said it was too maudlin. He would have said, like, come on. There's gotta be something good there. But yes.
Yeah. So we'll check back in with them when they're 40. We'll send them some homework.
We'll do a side by side.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I actually thought that when I read those. I thought, oh, these are beautiful, and I'm totally like choked up, and there's no way they would write this when they're.
Oh no. They just haven't figured out how we broke them yet.
In the world. I mean, I've literally said to both of my children, I understand if you feel like you got a raw deal.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
This is a safe space to feel like this is not what you signed up for.
No. So, I mean, they didn't sign up for it at all. We put them out there.
No.
No. We thought it would be okay. Who could have known that it would be so?
You sort of, it's a leap of faith having children. It is.
100%. Yeah. I don't even know if I had that much faith. I just did it.
Well, that's faith. That's sort of what it is.
Yeah.
I had a kid not long ago say to me, why do people have children who can't take care of them? And I said, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that was like in that book that you loaned me. That was like a big part of it, right? Like the Olga Dies Dreaming. It's like about motherhood.
The book that you bought me.
Yeah.
That I loaned you. It was a great book.
Olga Dies Dreaming. But it talks about someone who has kids who doesn't actually want kids, right? Like, and how that can happen. People just peace out. Yeah. I think especially there's a lot of societal and religious pressure, to have children. Olga's Catholic. My father was Catholic. He certainly had more children than he wanted to have. I mean, he told the 5 of us he only wanted 1, which was sort of, we don't really need to hear that. Right.
So I think that, I mean, I don't think a lot of people who are raised deeply religious think about how many children would I like to
It's like
have?
an option, right?
Yeah,
Like that it's like an optional thing. Yeah.
it's just what you do.
Yeah.
You just have a lot of children. You grow the
The
cohort.
congregation.
Yeah, it's your job. So that happens then.
Yeah.
But that was a good book. What do
It
you read
was.
now, Gia? I was
Uh,
like riffing before, and I'm reading Bodywork. I'm gonna start reading Bodywork.
I know. I need to get it. I haven't gotten it yet. So I
I
want to
can
read. I
borrow
want to
it.
read it.
You can borrow it from me. You can borrow it. I
Yeah.
bought it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, then I'll borrow it from you. I have it on hold at the library. I just don't think it's like in yet, or I'm like way too far on
Mm-hmm.
the list or something. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I don't know.
Well,
I have like a pile of books people have loaned me, and we'll see. We'll see which one I like.
okay.
Pull off the shelf next.
Sounds good. Anything else you'd like to say before we sign off?
No, because we got to go pick up our kids from school.
That's
So
right. That's right. We got things to do. This is the puzzle piece of life.
yes,
This
fit
this
it
fit
all
in here.
in.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm good. Thank you for having me. This was lovely.
Oh, I'm so glad you said yes. I was like, yay, she wants to do it. This is going to be great. And it was
Yeah,
great.
thank you.
And thank you for sharing, being so vulnerable and sharing yourself.
Oh
I
yeah, yeah.
appreciate
I'm glad
you.
I didn't cry. I thought I was gonna cry. I didn't cry. So I'm like really
Yeah, you're fine.
like yeah. No, I'm patting myself on the back. I showed no emotion. I'm a cold heart.
Yes.
That's what I wanted to give off. So yeah. All right. I love you,
It's a
Alyson.
pleasure. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.